you spent 4 years in high school, you were just kind of run through the daycare system. When you go to college, the same thing's going to happen. You're going to be run through the college daycare system, and in 4 years, you're going to be done. And it's actually a misconception by most people who go to college because they believe that it's just, you're supposed to go for 4 years. It's just like high school. And, you just go and you show up and you do your work and you graduate. Well, it's not always that easy. And in fact, more than 50% of people who go to college actually take more than 4 years to graduate. And there's a lot of reasons that this happens. One of the big reasons, of course, is that people change majors. When people change majors, it usually sets them back in the program, in the education, in the classes that they need to pass. And so it just takes more time to graduate because you have to spend all your time getting through the classes. The other thing that happens, and I think it's a little bit misleading, is when we say you're going to get through in 4 years, that is under the assumption that you're going to sit there and you're going to hammer through your classes at 18 credit hours every semester, and you're actually going to make it through on time. Where there are some people, they just don't handle college as well, and they may have to go at a little bit slower pace, either at 15 credit hours or even 12 credit hours, just to get through the classes in time. And when you do that, you're actually going to end up taking more time, and it's going to take you most likely a 5th year. But the biggest issue, the biggest warning for anybody who's going into college is people who are choosing majors and choosing the wrong majors. It's not so much that they are, there are bad majors that you can have. I mean, there are a lot of not overly useful majors. And really, people just kind of pick poorly, and then they pick poorly again and again and again. So this is one of the more common misconceptions that I encounter from job seekers. And we have this posting on Reddit from PP Poop account, and they say, how common is graduating in more than 4 years? I am graduating with my bachelor's in like a week, but I've been in college since fall of 2019, so 5 years at my age of 23. Most of my high school friends went straight to university and graduated in 4 years or less. One friend graduated a semester early. While I went to community college and spent 3 years there, transferred, and did my last 2 years at university. I feel like graduating in 4 years is hard too, at least for me. Like, have had 3 semesters where I took 6 classes, and most of the time I take 5. So I don't know how people are finishing so quickly. I tried to do 4 years, but COVID made it hard to complete. I tried doing summer classes during 2020 and had to drop because it was so hard online. But also at my college, a lot of people graduate in 5 to 6 years. But it's also a commuter college, so most of them work full-time while doing college, so they take longer. So like in general, is 5 years the new 4? Or are people still mainly graduating in 4? If you know what kind of job you want to have, you know what kind of career you're going to have, you know what you're going after, what you're pursuing, what the goal is. You have a vision as to what kind of career. I don't know how many more ways I could say this. If you know what you're going to be doing after you graduate college, there's a good chance you're going to graduate in 4 years. Now, obviously, COVID kind of messed everything up for many of us. But for the most part, if you know what you want to do, you can get through in 4 if you really want to, if you really try. What ends up happening is you have people who go from community college to the university, and they fart around and they change majors and they do a lot of different things. And in the end, it may take them 5 or 6 years. It's not completely uncommon. And really, it comes down to when you're at college, when you're at your university, how deep were you into your prior major before you switched? So, for example, if you're like me and you waited until your junior year before you really settled on a program, really settled on a degree, well, not all those classes I took before were going to end up being electives. I had too many electives, so they weren't able to count all those for my program. And I still had to do all the base courses. So I had to do all the base courses from freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year and do that in 2 years, which is why it took me a little bit longer to graduate. And I know plenty of other job seekers, plenty of other people who have gone through a major or made a certain distance and again, made it to about their junior year and said, screw it, this is way too hard. I got to switch majors to something that's better for me. And then they end up taking another 2 years to finish. Extremely common. But this goes back to the issue that we run into always within our colleges and universities. When you don't know what you want to do, when you don't know why you're going to college, when all you think is happening is that college is just the next stage in life. You go from high school to college. That's just the expectation. That doesn't mean it's right. But when you have that mindset, when you don't know any better, when you haven't done any research as to what you should be doing, you haven't picked out a job, you haven't done any preparation, you haven't experienced real life. When you haven't done any of those things, it makes it really difficult to make it through college and make it through college within 4 years. It's not a knock against you or anything about you personally. It more happens to do with your preparation and your planning when it comes to your career. And honestly, I mean, if people planned their careers better, there'd be no use for jobferno. There'd be no use for anything that I do. People just simply need to plan their careers better. And you can't accomplish that unless you actually have an idea of what you want to do and what you hope to accomplish. But here's the real issue. The real issue is that the colleges spend all their time suckering you in to get your money because they want to pick your pocket. They want to take all your dollar bills out of your pocket now and out of your pocket in the future. And they want to pick your pocket for the next 20, 30 years of your life. And they say, thank you, come again, and make sure to donate to our alumni association while you're busy paying us back over the next 20 years. So that is what is really going on, is really college is now a scheme, a money-making scheme for certain people to become rich. And that's really all it's about. They like to sit there and take the money from the students. And so should it take you 4 or 5 years to get through your college? Yeah, it probably will, because you're not educated properly enough to know what job you want. Is it normal? Absolutely. That's it for today. Let me know if you have any other questions. Send me an email at questions@jobferno.com. I'm SP Graham. This is Jobferno. And as always, choose skills over money.